Hold up.
Yo, what's going on guys, it is FoxyDude98 here and welcome back to a brand new video for you guys today here on the channel. Today we're going to be doing the last question mark challenge with Kimi Raikkonen at the Italian Grand Prix circuit. Obviously it is the Italian Grand Prix this weekend and I wanted to do a last question mark challenge, so I thought let's use a Ferrari around Monza, last question mark, and see how we do. So as you can see then, we're on the grid here for the start of the Italian Grand Prix. It's going to be a 25% race, 5 red lights, and it's lights out. We're going to go here to start the Italian Grand Prix. It's a decent start actually from us. Trying to improve on my starts because the AIs are much faster after the starting line, but we're trying to get into the slipstream here of Marcus Ericsson now as we make our way up towards the first corner, and as you can tell, we just go down the inside of a whole load of cars here, and that's kind of expected because once again, just like last year really, the AIs, they don't really move over to the inside line and try and make those braking moves, so they brake really early for the first corner, and it just allows you to just steamroll down the inside and take a load of places. And we do just that. We're up into 10th place already, and we have a look at Magnussen. We go down the inside of Kevin Magnussen, but this time he actually fights this one back around the outside there, and then gets the inside of the second part of the chicane in towards the Lesmo here. And Magnussen, I try to switch back. I did it correctly, but Magnussen parked his car perfectly on the apex there. Great defensive play from K-Mag, and we've just got to sit back and wait a little bit longer now for this Grand Prix here. We've got Fernando Alonso in the McLaren behind us, but he's not going to be that much of a threat, especially with that Renault power unit, which I found out in this game overall is extremely bad. So as you can see then, coming through towards Ascari now, just trying to settle into the Grand Prix a little bit, and see if we can try and find our way past Magnussen. A little bit wayward there on the exit of Ascari, as I've never actually raced around this track before now, so trying to test out the limits, especially with the curbs, because of course there are some where you can be aggressive and some where you can't. But already in front of us we've got a bit of a scrap here, because Max Verstappen is under pressure from Nico Hülkenberg in the Renault now, with Carlos Sainz also in behind, and we've got one of the Force Indians there of, I think it's Sergio Perez. As you can see now, Hülkenberg has lost out to Verstappen, but he comes back into the slipstream, gets back alongside Verstappen now, and as they make the charge down towards turn 1 here, he goes down the inside and makes it stick. We're also going down the inside of Kevin Magnussen in all of this as well, and we make the move stick up into P9 for us, but overall there's a lot of fighting going on as Hülkenberg still scrapping away against Max Verstappen, and now Perez is trying to have a look at Carlos Sainz in the Renault here, but the battle is now between the Renault and the Red Bull here, and eventually Hülkenberg gets through. So great stuff there from Hülkenberg. And now you can see that Sainz is through, and he makes his way past and is up into, I think he's up into P7 now in this Grand Prix. But we're looking now at the back of Sergio Perez here for P8 in this race. This is where we're focusing on. And we've got the ERS now in overtake modes here, and as you can see we're flying down the straight here, having a look. As you can see, they're all starting to scrap now in front. It's going to be a 3-wide scenario here. We've got both the Renaults and the Force India trying to have a little scrap here. We go down the inside on one of the Renault cars, or we try and find a way through, but eventually we slip our way through the middle there. Really sneaky stuff. They just opened up the gap there a little bit, and that allowed me to go through the middle of Carlos Sainz and also Sergio Perez. Now we're on the back of in the Renault of Nico Hülkenberg here, and this is going to be a nice simple move for us as we go down the inside now of Nico Hülkenberg and we charge through, and that is us up into I believe that is P6 in this Grand Prix now. So a flying start from us, and yeah, that is 6th place in this Grand Prix. And next up the road is going to be Max Verstappen, so we're going to look to try and close the gap down towards him. And as you can see here, we're going to do just that into what's P6, and now we're going to make our way down in towards the Parabolica, and we're going to try and counter and take on Max Verstappen in this Grand Prix. So we're going to do just that now, and as you can see here onto the straight, you can see it is Verstappen and Ricciardo having a little bit of a squabble here. There's actually one of the Mercedes cars, I think that's Valtteri Bottas in front, getting very, very close for comfort now. And as they go in towards the first corner here, you can see that Verstappen goes around the outside on Daniel Ricciardo, and then it switches to the inside line, but he's still side by side actually, and this is costing them time not only to Bottas but also to myself, because the car behind is me, so I'm the one that's closing these two down as they come flying through the Curva Grande, and you can see Bottas there in front pulling away. Verstappen trying to find a way past Ricciardo, just can't really find a good route here, but eventually, look at that, brakes it there down the outside and then switches that through. Ricciardo's put off balance there, and that's given me a perfect opportunity to come through and sneak past for 5th place. So the two Red Bulls fighting each other hasn't worked out really in their favour there. That's actually kind of put them in a disadvantage, because obviously that has allowed me to now close up to the point where I'm in DRS range of Verstappen here, but obviously I'm not close enough to Verstappen to make any form of attack just yet. But we'll just have to wait until I actually get past this moment here. So now through the Ascari bend here, you can see now we're closing it to the back of Verstappen, back end comes out again. Notice that that final curve on the left there is very, very difficult to get right. But as you can see here, we're closing up to Verstappen, and it's a matter of time really before we get past Max. That Renault power unit is just doing him absolutely no favours whatsoever. And yeah, he's in big trouble here. So now, as you can see, coming onto the straight, we're going to put the car into overtake mode eventually for ERS. We're going to leave the fuel mixture in standard, but it doesn't really make a difference. We absolutely breeze past Verstappen. That was just one of those F1 moves where the audiences will start complaining that the DRS is too powerful, because that was just really, really simple to get by. And that's us up into second place. Of course, Vettel and Hamilton have already stopped, so it's a net P4 overall in the race. Moving on then to lap 6, it's going to be our pit stop now, so we're going to be coming for the set of the super soft tyres. I'm going to take those to the end of the race and go from there. So our Bottas has already come into the pits as well, so it's going to be me, Bottas, and the other Red Bull. Well, I believe that is Verstappen is going to come in. I think Ricciardo came in on the previous lap, so it's going to be Max this lap. Pretty much all the number 2 drivers are coming in for their stops for this race. So as you can see, super soft tyres, strap those on. A little bit delayed, unfortunately, because the Red Bull had to come into the pits there, so that sort of set me back a little bit. But we're going to try our best, and hopefully we can try and catch up to Valtteri. You never know. Obviously, it depends on where Valtteri is compared to Hamilton, and see if we can get towards Mercedes cars. Because for us now, it is a fight against those 2 Mercs and also Sebastian Vettel. I think Vettel's just a little bit too far out of reach for me to attempt to pass. So I think it's going to be the one or maybe 2 of the Mercs I'm going to try and get past in this race. But we'll see. We'll just have to find out what we can do against those 2 Mercedes cars and go from there, really, as we push forward now. On to lap 8 of the Grand Prix, we're going to be pressing on forwards, and we're now catching up to Lewis Hamilton, who's been overtaken by Bottas, and the virtual safety car has come out for a retirement. So someone's obviously had an issue and is out of the race, and it is Fernando Alonso that's out of the Grand Prix. That's not really a surprise there. There's probably a Renault power unit problem for him. And eventually then, the DRS is re-enabled then at the end or start of lap 9 there, and we can get back to racing speed and crack on with the Grand Prix with ourselves. Chasing down Lewis Hamilton, who I feel has a problem in this Grand Prix because he just didn't really seem that fast. I felt like I was catching him very, very quickly, and Bottas was dropping him at a very fast rate of knots. Pretty much a bit too much, to be honest, in this Grand Prix. So as we come towards the second part of the Lesmos complex here, you can just see already visually how much quicker we are than Lewis Hamilton. I've got loads of ERS battery. I think I've pretty much got full battery power. So I'm literally giving it everything right now, pushing very, very hard in this Grand Prix to try and get my way past Hamilton. Just look at that through the Ascari chicane there. Just how much faster that we are compared to Lewis. And as you can see now on the straight here, overtake mode enabled, keeping it in standard fuel mixture because the aim is to use the DRS to make the overtake. Very similar to how I did on Max Verstappen. You can see here we're doing just that, but look how much slower that Hamilton's going through here. And eventually, I didn't even touch him. He just moves out of the way. So I'm not quite sure what his locomotives were there. But he just decided, I'm just going to get out of the way. So, you know what? Fair enough. That's us up into P3. Next up the road is Valtteri Bottas. But unfortunately for us, I couldn't actually catch Bottas. He's just too fast for me, unfortunately. So as you can see, then coming towards the final corner now through the Parabolica. And that was kind of it. I couldn't catch Bottas. Sebastian Vettel wins the Italian Grand Prix in front of this home crowd. And obviously, the Tifosi home crowd. For us, though, it is P3 and a place on the podium, which means it's a double podium finish for the Ferrari team. And to be honest, you couldn't ask much more than that. Obviously, if we got the 1-2 for Ferrari, that would have been the ultimate success. But it didn't happen, and that's how it goes. But anyway, guys, that is it for this race. Sebastian Vettel wins the Grand Prix. Overall, I don't really think I should have started on the soft tyres. I went from soft to super soft. I think I should have just done super soft to soft. There wasn't really that much of a difference. And I just felt in the first part of the race, my car was just not very, very good. Obviously, with the heavy fuel, the fuel at highest on board, with the slowest tyre compound, which doesn't really have as much grip. I just felt like I lost a little bit too much time. Obviously, I gained that back then when I drove on the super soft tyres and had lighter fuel. But I think maybe I should have done it the other way around and gone from there. But overall, it's a fun race. Some pretty cool battles, especially the 3-wide moment between the 2 Renaults and the Force India. That was a lot of fun to be a part of. But overall, a very, very fun and entertaining race. And that's pretty much it then. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed today's last question mark challenge, and there's the results for you guys on your screen there. If you have, feel free to drop it a like. If you're new around here as well and you haven't subscribed to the channel already, feel free to subscribe. It'd be absolutely awesome. And I will see you guys for the next video. Take care all.